Hello and welcome to your Soul Service Astrology update for the week commencing the 8th of November 2021. Welcome to my channel. I'm Kelx. I'm a 13-sign sidereal astrologer and the creator of Soul Service Astrology. What is Soul Service Astrology? It is a technique, it is a method, it is an instrument, a tool, a portal to take you deeper into your strengths, for you to lean deeper into your challenges and enjoy your journey so that you can use both your strengths and your challenges and your journey so that you can alchemize your highest potential, what you want your life to be like. Now that might be career, that might be business, and that might just be a life like you're living on holidays all the time. It's one of my mottos. So what is 13-sign sidereal astrology? 13-sign sidereal astrology is essentially astrology matched to what you can see in the sky at night, or astronomy. So it is astrology fed by an astronomy, not the other way around, unfortunately. And the reason why I believe so deeply in 13-sign sidereal astrology is it allows you to observe and experience your environment. It allows you to observe and experience what you can see in the sky, as above, so below. That allows us to come back into connection with our ecological being. It allows us to come back into connection with the natural cycles. We have become disconnected. So to save ourselves and to heal the planet in so doing, why not come back into the deep, interconnected awareness of us as ecological beings tending to a sacred earth? And I believe Soul Service Astrology can do that for all of us. What is happening this week? Let me share my screen. There we go. There are not heaps of aspects this week. There is one main aspect that is going to play out all week. So I'm going to talk to that quite a bit today so that you can feel into your experience and your perception of what you've got coming up this week, regardless of what that is, doing life. So that perhaps you can find more ease and flow and grace and leaning into perhaps the uncomfortable places to find new ways of doing or being and seeing and feeling, all those sorts of things. Okay, so this particular aspect that hangs around all week is Saturn square Mercury and Mars. Now, Mercury and Mars are conjunct most of the week. As we can see over here, Mercury's conjunct Mars, it's less than 3 degrees, so that's going to hang around for most of the week. It will be exact on Wednesday, so it's where they're right on top of each other. So let's talk about those two planets from an energetic perspective and how that will influence the collective. Now, when I talk about collective energies like I am here now, which is these are the transiting planets, you have a natal birth chart and you will respond to these basically like your natal birth chart. You will respond with whatever's going on in your life. So these might feel like a blip and nothing significant, or they might feel really big to you. So how you are, your energetic blueprint, your celestial blueprint, which is your natal birth chart, determines how you would respond to the collective energies. And if you don't know your natal birth chart, that's okay. You can still respond to these energies or feel into an experience. Now, if you do want to find out your sidereal sun sign, go into my videos on YouTube or Instagram and find what is my sidereal sun, and that video will take you through how to determine what your sidereal sun is. I will put a side note caveat on that. However, as you can see, there are 9 other celestial points or bodies that astrologers refer to. So you are not just your sun, okay? All right, so let's talk about Mercury and Mars. Mercury is mind, Mercury is communication, Mercury is messaging. Mercury archetypally could be referred to as a number of different things: the storyteller, the teacher, or the student. In Virgo, it behaves a little bit more like the storyteller or the teacher rather than the student. If it was in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, it might be behaving a bit more like the student. But in Virgo, it's learnt some things. It has skills. It has strengths that it desires to share with others because it's in service. So it's our mind, it's our knowledge in service. That's in Virgo. Mars is warrior energy. Mars is focus and directness and action and determination. When these two meet up, you might feel a surge of energy to get stuff done. Now, if you have used the Mercury retrograde period, which ended on the 19th of October, it was 3 weeks prior to the 19th of October, if you allowed yourself to have a rest and a reset, check in on your health and your wellness, check in on how your mind and your mental health is as well. It's not just your physical health anymore, your spiritual health. If you use that time to have a little bit of a reset, now is the time that you can start to action the things that you need to get done, the directions that you want to go. Basically, you can start to do the things on your to-do list. Now, if you didn't, you might hit a wall of victim mode or sabotage mode this coming week. And I'm going to explain why I've suggested to you it's a great time to now start actioning the things on your to-do list. With Saturn in Capricorn up here, the last 12 months or so, it's really been about consolidating down. And the last Mercury retrograde period was clearing out mental clutter, clearing out physical clutter, so that you can ascend to your expertness, so that you can ascend into your mastery. You have skills, that's Virgo. For them to start to become strengths and zones of genius, that's when you step into the leader that is Saturn. That's when you step into the leader that is Capricorn. So you might feel this really big push to start doing things that you have put on your list that you know you need to do, that you've been working towards for a very long time. Like for me, it's Soul Service Astrology Professional, a 12-month program that I've created this last 12 months, and I'm launching it again at the end of November. If you're interested, just message me. So there's a consolidation there, but there's things on the to-do list. You have to focus. There's mental focus and clarity, which is this down here. Now, the problem with humans, is it really a problem? Anyway, maybe it's not a problem. That's a rhetorical question. The problem that our minds have is that we have past conditioning. Now, it's not necessarily a problem, it's just the way our minds have evolved and how society and culture has evolved. So we have past conditioning. Now, if you use the Mercury retrograde period and perhaps you picked up on some of that past conditioning, how it's no longer beneficial for you. Now, past conditioning might have been beneficial for you, right? But now you might have made some changes and it's not so beneficial for you. And it's holding you back, taking you into that leadership position, taking you perhaps higher towards some of your bigger goals and bigger achievements. Like, for example, maybe you've changed jobs, maybe you've changed careers, maybe you've gone up a level in your career. Perhaps you're building a business and you're at startup and you're shifting into a more sustainable phase where it is, yes, I have a business. Now, square energy, so this energy is hanging around all week, which is why I want to talk to it. Square energy is fear. What is fear? Fear is when our subconscious programming goes a little bit haywire in the terms of what we want to achieve, what we want to do, what we want to create. But there's this old programming in the background that was beneficial but may not be beneficial now for this particular purpose, for this particular goal or achievement. Perhaps we're going into uncharted territory for our mind. We're going into uncharted territory for our mind. We're stepping up into this leader position. So what our primitive brain will do is it will go into survival mode. Now, the type of shadow or the type of subconscious programming or fear that might come up between Virgo energy and Capricorn energy, for Virgo, we might shift into victim mode. So let's put a lens on what it means to be victim. Now, once I reveal this to you, perhaps you can see where you've stepped into victim. It's not very nice to know that you've been the victim in an interaction or whatever it is that you're doing in life. But once you know how you step into victim mode, you can't unsee it. And in actual fact, that's the hardest step. Once you become aware of what you're doing, then you can undo it, right? Now, if you let the victim mode run rampant while you're trying to achieve something bigger than what you've achieved before, so you're pushing into uncharted territory, you won't go there because the victim will keep you safe. So what behaviours might the victim show this week? It might blame others for your lack of success. It might blame others because you can't get certain things done. It might blame others because you've been unable to focus and action certain things on your task list. It might blame others or the external world. Like, I'm going to blame society. I'm going to blame climate change that I still can't take the steps to lead the life that I desire to live. It could be something like that. And you just pull back a bit. You can feel it. It's like a gentle contraction. Might be a bit more than a gentle contraction. Now, a victim will throw blame bombs. It will be, no, there's a reason I can't do that. No, it's because of that. It's the blame thrower. That's what the victim does in shadow. Okay, so if you've experienced victim mode, I want you to honour that and know whenever you step into victim mode, you are receiving a message. And if you notice it, there is an opportunity here to shift it so that you can step back more into your flow state and you can start to do the things that you want to do. You're taking responsibility for your actions, right? The victim, first step, needs to take responsibility for being the victim. Oh, I know it makes me want to vomit when I've gone into victim mode. It's like, oh my God, I've gone into victim mode. And even just speaking about it, I know I'm speaking through what's going on for me at the moment. And I hope you can hear that. So the victim needs to take responsibility. That's a very Saturn thing to do. First step, take responsibility, acknowledge that that's what you've been doing. Hard thing to do. Second is the other side of the shadow is the light. What causes a shadow? The light. So therefore, with every shadow, there's a light aspect. The light aspect of the victim is self-esteem, and it's your self-esteem. Now, these are two personal planets. These are Mercury and Mars. These are very personal. So it's your self-esteem. So if you step into victim mode over the next week, saying, woe is me, it's that person's fault, I can't do this, blah, 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 right? Stop. Notice it. Notice how and honour and go, okay, there's the victim, there's the messenger. How can I step into my sovereign self-esteem? You're going to use a past event where you've achieved something, where you've achieved something that you were really proud of. You are going to step into the emotion of pride to elevate your self-esteem. How do you do that? You write a big long list of the things you've achieved. Now, that could be a big long list of the things that you've achieved over your life, if you like, and you could keep coming back to that list whenever you feel like you've slipped into victim mode, or you can write a list, and it might be the last 12 months. Look at what I've achieved over the last 12 months. Look at what I've got done. Look at what I've overcome. Oh, and you step into that feeling of pride. And anytime you feel the victim coming up and you want to blame someone else for something that is your responsibility, you read that pride list and you keep stepping back into your self-esteem. You keep stepping back into your pride. Self-esteem, pride. That is not selfish and it's not egotistical. Okay? All right, so let's look at something else that might come up this week, and it's the shadow aspect of Capricorn. The shadow aspect of Capricorn is the saboteur. Now, we've achieved things. We've written our pride list. We've achieved these things. We're really proud of ourselves. We've got great self-esteem. But now we're taking steps beyond where we've been before, beyond what is known to our mind. And beyond what is known to how we do it. Like, we may not even know how to do it. We know we've got to go that direction, but how do we do it? So what might come in is the saboteur. And how might the saboteur come in? It's going to come in as things like procrastination, going off and doing things that make you feel comfortable, like eating food, or shopping online, or thinking, oh, I need to go and get a job to help with our financial situation. That's the saboteur, because you have identified a goal higher than you've had before, an area where you haven't been before. Perhaps you've tried also and it hasn't gone as well as you planned. So the saboteur's coming in to try to keep you safe. Well, okay, I'll give you nice things to do. Oh, you can procrastinate over here and do things that aren't really necessary or aren't, priority. So that's how the saboteur might show up this week. How do we shift the saboteur? And of course, as with the victim, there was a light aspect. The saboteur, there is absolutely a light aspect, and it's choice. You have the choice. Now, with the energy I explained with Saturn over the last 12 months, it's been to this consolidation. It's been this decluttering. So if you're procrastinating and doing things that you know aren't taking you down the path that you want to go to, then that's where you start. You start having to bring yourself, make the choice. Okay, do I want to keep going down that path? Oh my God, I've identified I've been down that path before. I'm sabotaging myself. Okay, I come back to this task. And because you've got Mars on your side down here, helping you and your mind work, just take small steps, one small step. And a little hack that I have found with procrastination is you might be doing a task, and this might also be determined how you're neurally comprised as well. So feel into how you're neurally comprised and how you want to work, how you want to get things done. You might be able to sit and focus on a task and get it done. Or you might be a little bit like me, where you've got to go, I'm going to do this task. Okay, I might get sick a bit of this task, but then I'll go and do a bit of this. And I've found that I've learned I can hack it by procrastinating on things that I actually have to do within a week. So I'm very Virgo, so I have a to-do list over a week. And if there's one thing I'm procrastinating doing and I go off and do another thing on that list, then it's not procrastination. So you can get organized, declutter, write a to-do list. That helps you focus and direct your energy. If the little procrastinator comes in, then allow yourself to do other things within that field of what you need to get done. So that's one way of doing it. The other thing is a choice. If you've identified bad habits, like for me, it's the ones I explained, it's boredom eating and it's comfort shopping, comfort eating, and boredom shopping. Not boredom shopping, I think I comfort shop. So they're programming that I go into when I know I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. So I have to take sovereign responsibility for myself, very, very Saturn, and not do it. allow myself to still be nurtured and filled up with the food that I'm eating, allow myself to be with the beautiful things that I already have and that I already love. And maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's playing with some tarot cards, maybe it's drawing a card, maybe it's looking at the weekly astrology and writing it down and putting beautiful stickers and washi tape and using beautiful pens to do that, right? So there are other ways to move through the programming that you've got that may be holding you back. So that's really the energy that's hanging about for the majority of this week. There's only a couple of other aspects that I want to talk to you about. 12th of November, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we go to Friday and we have a lovely aspect that we can all vibe into after working to be conscious of if we're stepping into victim mode and to be conscious of whether we're stepping into sabotage mode. We have this lovely aspect that comes in on Friday, just in time for the weekend. And that's between Neptune and the Sun. So Neptune's up here in Pisces and it's a trine down here to the Sun. And the Sun is now in Libra. So we have this, we're moving out of Virgo energy, stepping more into Libra energy. So Neptune in Pisces is the beacon. It's the beacon mystic. It's allowing yourself to surrender into your spiritual and mystical nature. Please, if you don't even know what that means, just go and do a guided meditation or walk in nature. Allow the logical mind to switch off, because this week there's a lot of logical mind. There's some doing, there's some leading, there's some getting stuff done. Allow yourself to just expand into interconnectedness, into your God nature, into nature. Maybe you're going to look at the stars, use a telescope and look at the stars. And that trines the Sun. So there's this lovely energy with the Sun that our mystical nature can feed into our art, our expression, our authenticity. And with the Sun in Libra, we're coming into this harmony. So this aspect could be seen as a harmonic, where basically you're expressing yourself from a really authentic place. Perhaps you're creating things that are really filling you up, or you're doing things that are really filling you up, and you can feel the spiritual connection. You can feel the otherness to that. So there's still that very earth energy here, that we're creating something on earth, that we're doing things on earth, that we're very human. But at the end of the week, you feel that beautiful energetic feeling that there's something greater than me out there. And you can expand into that awesomeness, and step into that beautiful space of the divine. So you can let that feed into your weekend. You can let that feed and flow into the connections that you have with your nearest and your dearest. Perhaps moving into party season, not a bad time to have this wonderful clearing. We've got stuff done. We've cleared things out. Yes, we've shifted the victim and the sabotage mode, and we're letting our spiritual nature come through into our authentic selves and into our authentic expressed creativity. And we're feeling into this harmonic, there's a harmonious aspect to this. Maybe you're a singer and you choose to harmonize some more. So that's Friday. And then Saturday, there's Saturday and Sunday. So we have Uranus opposite Mercury. So this is sort of tying into the new moon that we had on the 5th of November. And it's coinciding with the end of Mercury being in Virgo. So the following day, the 14th of November, Mercury moves into Libra. Now, we've had Mercury in Virgo for a long time. You may have felt like you've built mental stamina in Virgo, which builds spiritual stamina, might I add, if you had allowed the mind to rest. Now, this opposition is a seesaw, right? So you've got that flip-flopping energy. You might be needing to think and be down here and be very logical and still get stuff done. While up here, you can feel what's going on in the greater whole. And you really, really, really want to start taking some action and making the changes. And there might be lots of swearing and rantiness because of what's going on in the rest of the world. And I'm talking specifically from the biggest existential threat to our survival, and that's really to regenerating the planet in relation to not just climate change, but also all the pollution that is on the planet as well, which is a threat. Basically, it's full ecological collapse. So you may feel deeply passionate about that and really desire the changes to come, and you're spending a lot of time there, right? But down here, you might be getting logically and mentally fatigued because you can't be spending heaps of time in both. So you can't just be down here and ignoring what's going on in the greater world, right? We can't just be blinkers on, I'm just going to ignore what's going on in the real world. And you can't just hang out, I can't do this thing down here in my life, in my local community, because look at what's going on in the world. So that's where you're flip-flopping energy, right? Now, to balance that you can allow your why, you can allow the changes that you want to make to feed down into your life, into how you communicate, into how you think, into what you do down here, into your skills and how you serve your local community, how you show up in your local area, what you do in your local area. And that's how you can balance both. So feel into that and try not to get too taken away and out of body with what's going on in the greater whole, because of course we still need very grounded and anchored humans here to make the changes that we want to make. And with the sun in Libra and Mercury stepping into Libra the next day, it's almost like you start to be the demonstration of your values. You start to step into being the advocate, the diplomat. You start to realize, okay, the mind calms down a little bit. And when you go into conversations with people, you listen more. And that just might be from a place of deeper compassion for yourself, that I can stop talking and I can listen more and learn something. That might be what Mercury wants to do in Libra. And I want to listen to the other side of the story so I have a balanced view. And that would be the Mercury stepping from Virgo, where it's tended to itself and then it's tending to service, and now it's stepping out and listening to the community, it's listening to your loved ones, and it's listening to perhaps views that are not your own, but still remaining non-judgmental. And from that deep place of compassion where it's like, it's okay, I can still love you, but you might share a different opinion to me. So that might happen over the next couple of weeks. So that's the Soul Service Astrology update for the week of the 8th of November. If you want to hang out with me some more, I have a free Facebook group called Sidereal Stars with Kel. You can find the link below. I would love if you come and join that group. I go live twice a month in there on the new and the full moons. It's the only place I go live to do that. And I'm also doing free mini birth chart evaluations in there for members. So you go into a drawer, 4 people are drawn out once or twice a month, and I will talk to one of the main aspects in your natal birth chart. So if you want to go and participate in that, then please come and join Sidereal Stars with Kel. I would love to have you there. Have a glorious week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.